The discomfort zone is an area of immense but invigorating challenge that people don't think they're ready for, but actually if you lead into it, it's an area of great personal transformation. I think if you find yourself in your comfort zone, most people know what that feels like. What you have to do is you have to have an internal driver. And most people, if they're truly honest with themselves, they know what feels uncomfortable. But the problem is they're often not willing to confront themselves with it. So what I often say to people is, rather than rely on somebody else to push you into your discomfort zone, if there's a challenge that you see and somebody asks you, how do you feel about doing this? Don't think about it, just say yes. Obstacles teach you your limits. Suddenly you have a brick wall and you kind of are confronted with what your weaknesses are. The BMD method is about brief moments of discomfort. And I came up with that because I think the cultural messaging around uncomfortable or difficult situations is completely wrong. I think when people look at a situation, the narrative they tell themselves is that it's incredibly scary, it's not going to be good for me, it's going to fill me with anxiety. And actually what they're misunderstanding is what true discomfort looks like. Any situation is not uncomfortable from beginning to end. So what you have to do is you have to look at a situation and you have to really interrogate it and ask yourself, what is it that I'm really afraid of? You know, if it's public speaking, it's not the entire speech, is it? It's probably the moment when you first get up on stage and you have to get everybody's attention. Once you've figured out those 3 brief moments of discomfort, then you need to come up with a plan about how you're going to deal with that. I think to start stepping into your discomfort zone, if you go back to your desk at work, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to sit down for 10-15 minutes in a quiet room, and you need to get a pen and a piece of paper, and you need to think about what it is that really frightens you. And most people, if they really interrogate themselves, they know it. And write a list. Come up with 5 things. So if one of the things is, I don't like public speaking, you then need to look for opportunities, and there are opportunities everywhere. So it could be something as simple as it's somebody's birthday in the office. Why don't you volunteer to do the speech? And then once you've volunteered, then you figure out what is the thing about that speech that's making you nervous? What's the thing that's making you feel uncomfortable? And you break it down into 3 things. You come up with a plan about how to get through those moments. Every day there are moments of discomfort that you have the option about whether you're going to shirk away from or whether you're going to approach it. And actually, if you approach it, if you step into your discomfort zone, you go from being what you think is an ordinary person to being somebody quite extraordinary.